They're sick, right? And then the mother starts reading it. She says, you have to wait, page 35, you know. Doctor, could you come? While you're reading. And then the mother answers on the other side while reading, my child is sick. And then the father says, we live on so-and-so street. It's you yell on top of your lungs. So you see what it is, what Reb Nachman says, if I daven just for luxury, I'm calm. Remember, Reb Levi Yitzchak Berditch was yelling on top of his lungs when he davened. Mamish. Was there someone davening more than Reb Levi Yitzchak? So Ms. Nugget came and says, well, what are you yelling so loud? Well, you think God doesn't hear, what do you have to yell so loud? So Reb Levi Yitzchak didn't answer. He said, I'm talking to you. He didn't answer. He said, I am talking to you. Aha, you see? You see, when it hurts, you begin to yell, right? And then one more thing, you know, like, you see what he says, that you see what it is so deep. It's not I pray and then God gives me. My very prayer, gives me life. Mamish, my davening, the way I daven, this is what gives me life. If I daven with all my heart, with all my soul, I receive life with all my heart, with all my soul. If I daven just a little bit, I receive a little bit. He says, Chadoshim Labkorem Rabba Munusecha. You know what it is? Every morning, I mamish have to receive life. I want you to know something which is the deepest depth. What did Avraham Avinu do to the world? You know, until Avraham Avinu, the world was mamish dead. You know, what is a pagan? A pagan is half dead, right? Because it's not connected to God. And you know, he's connected to a dead God, right? What is God? Your vision of God is the highest thing you have, right? And if your God is a dead piece of wood, so that's what you are. So Avraham Avinu mamish gave us life. Why are we Yidden? Why are we Yidden eternal? Because we are connected to something which is eternal. The Greeks, they're coming, they're going. You are as eternal as to your source of life. So he says, Chadoshim, not correct. If you want to renew your morning, Rabba Menusa. So he says, Ki emunu hitfila. Because this also so beautiful. He says, davening and believing is the same. You know, someone believes, yeah, I believe. You know, I believe if you put sugar in the cake, it tastes good. Or you believe in God. Ah, it's fire, right? That is fire. You know, Rav Nachman is another, I think maybe it's best to say it here. What is being in exile? What does it mean being in exile? In exile, the Beis HaMikdash is destroyed. What does it have to do with the Beis HaMikdash? We could have the Beis HaMikdash and otherwise you could have told us, you know, build a new holy temple in Dallas. Why not? So he says that in exile means that you put limits to what God can do. You put limits to what God can do. And also, you put limits to what you can do. Because my vision of God is what I think of myself. There's a Torah from the Rebbe Rabach. This is Va'atu Yisrael. Mo Hashem Elokecha Shol Mimcha. Now Israel, what does God ask of you? So he says, Mamish, Gewalt. Va'atu Yisrael. Mo, whatever you are, Hashem Elokecha. That's what God is for you. Whatever you think of yourself, you see the deepest depth. By Noach it says, Mamin ve'ena Mamin. Noach believed in God, and yet he didn't believe in God. He believed that God can do anything. He believed God can destroy the world. But he had a hard time believing that God can take the lowest sinner and make a man out of him. That he didn't believe. It was not so clear to him. So God couldn't make a covenant with Noah that Mashiach is coming. What's the holding of Mashiach? Suddenly the whole world will change. I have to tell you something awesome. I'm sure some of you remember learning it. It says, Vayishma Yisrael, Yisrael heard. Rashi says, you heard that, God bless you, that we crossed the Red Sea and Amalek came. So everybody's asking. The Torah says, Vayishma Yisrael, you heard, you came out of Egypt. What's Rashi saying Torah here? Remember the Torah from Beth Yaakov? What's good Torah? You know, because the question is, he should have come right after we came out of Egypt. He heard the miracles, why didn't he come right away? He only came after we crossed the Red Sea and after Amalek. What was holding him back? His mom was a beautiful Torah. Yisrael thought, and I'm really an old man. I've been a pagan all my life. I don't think I can still change. I'm too far gone. But then he heard that water can change into dry land. You mean water can change? And if water can change, I can change also. Then he adds something beautiful. Why did the water really change? Why was it so much God says, you walk? You know something? The water is looking at the Eden. And the water says to the Eden, I can't believe it. Last week he was downhearted slaves, beaten to death. And now your mom is free people. Not just they had the Egyptians on their neck. You know, it's very clear in the Torah in this 1 week. Gewalt, you know, what we don't change in 100 years, they change in those 8 days. Water said, for people like this, I'll change also. For them, I'll change also. So here comes Amalek. Why didn't Amalek come to attack us right when he came out of Egypt? That doesn't bother Amalek. You're a slave, you want to get free. Amalek says, okay, I'm with you all the way. But what? You believe in change? You believe that people can change? That I won't permit. I won't permit this. Because Amalek's whole theory is that you cannot change. That you cannot change.
Doubt.
I'm sorry, what?
Doubt, suffix.
Amalek is Suffolk, yeah, also. But anyway, because this is one of the deepest Torahs. You know, why is it really heartbreaking when somebody, God forbid, is sick, you go to a rabbi to pray? Why don't you pray yourself? The answer is very simple. My belief in God is so limited. I don't really believe that a person who's half dead can suddenly get out of bed and dance. I wish I would, but I don't. So I'm going to a tzaddik, to a rabbi, and I know he mamish believes. He believes that God can't take you out of your grave. He believes that God can make you. I tell you, if you remember this story, this is it's a good story to remember, especially if some of you are visiting sick people. We should never have to visit sick people, everybody should be well. The Heilige, he's okay there? Yeah? Yeah. The Heilige, the Moshe Leib Sassover, comes to a hospital, remember? And there they tell him there is a Sidele, and the doctor says he has maybe 10 minutes to live. And the whole family is standing there looking at the watch. It's already 7 minutes. 3 more minutes to go. And they say, it's good you came, he has about 3 more minutes to go. And Ramoshe Leib Sasser realizes they put this whole thing on him. You know, they expect him to die in a few minutes. And Nebuchadnezzar feels responsible that he has to live up to this expectation. So Ramoshe Leib Sasser walks in and he says, I swear to you that you live. And you know one thing Ramoshe Leib Sasser doesn't swear for him. Gave him so much strength. He's had up in his bed. Got well. You see what it is? Ramoshe Leib Sasser, so someone asked him, Rebbe, how, I know you don't swear false, but how could you swear, you know? So he says, I saw one thing, that he gave up because nobody gave him strength to live. Yeah? So he gave him life. So he says, Ki emunah hitfilah. Mamish, believing in God is mamish, this is the way I pray. Means that mamish, listen to the steepest depths. Why is it on Yom Kippur I'm standing before God and I'm doing tshuva? I can do tshuva any day in the world. Because Yom Kippur is the day when God opens. I want you to know something awesome. There's a machlokes in the Medrash on which day Avraham Avinu was thrown into the oven by Nimrod. According to some, it was the first day of Pesach, because Pesach is the day Avraham Avinu, because we left Egypt on account of Avraham Avinu. But according to another Medrash, it was Yom Kippur. Because what is all our mistakes? Because it's a little bit pagan, right? Yeah, a little bit pagan, all of us. I listen to this one, I serve this one. You know what the Pshischa says, what paganism is? It's most heartbreakingly beautiful. He says, imagine I'm sitting here, right? And I want to make myself like a Rebbe, right? So I'm sitting here, very firm. And then the Seder Tamara says to me, would you like to have another cup of coffee, right? But I have a feeling it doesn't look so nice for a Rebbe to drink so much coffee, right? That's the feeling, right? Says, no. I'm a pagan. I'm a pagan. I'm serving myself. A Jew's supposed to serve God. I mean, this is, you know, Avraham Avinu, Masechta Avodah Zorah, has only 5 prokim in our Shas. The Gemara says that Avraham Avinu had 400 prokim. Masechta Avodah Zorah, it's way out. Avraham Avinu had his own Shas. In Avodah Zorah, he had 400 prokim. So the Pshischa says that the way we live, according to Avraham Avinu's 400 prokim, we are mamish pagan. We are not serving God. Maybe once a year we do one thing for God, for real for God. Yes, this I do to make a good impression, this because I need to, this one I have to, this one I like to, you know. It's all paganism. On Yom Kippur, I'm mamish cleansing myself from paganism. And if I cleanse myself from paganism, then I believe also I can change. Because then my belief in God is so strong. I believe so. I was the lowest keeper for Kunidra, and after Kunidra, I'm a new person. So he says, Chadoshim Nafkun, when the mamish become a new person. You mamish have to strengthen your belief in God. Have to strengthen your belief that you can mamish. No limit. Because what is tefillah? Tefillah is not putting limits on God. And what's the emunah? I'm not putting limits on God. And I want you to know something, we learned it a lot of times. There's a Torah, I think it's from the Bachim, but it's a Torah which Ramotel Chernobyl writes a lot of times in his Sefer. If you, chas v'sholom, if a person does the most terrible thing in the world, the lowest affair in the world, And 5 minutes later he says, you cannot daven Yom Kippur Shmonasra, and you're a pagan. You know what that means? I'm putting limits on God. I say, listen God, if I'm good and sweet, then you listen to me. I just did such a big avera, my relationship to you is ended. And here's the Medrash. The Medrash says that Adam HaRishon was a pagan. Unbelievable. The Medrash says that the sin of Adam was that he was a pagan. Adam HaRishon, God spoke to me. Obviously he was not a pagan. What does it mean he was a pagan? He put limits to God. Because according to him, if you do something wrong, then you're not so close to God anymore. You know, I tell you something, imagine, I love somebody very much, you're the best friends, and then I do something wrong, and I don't talk to them anymore. Because it's clear to me, after I did this wrong, they don't love me anymore. It means I put limits to our friendship. Remember one of the Torahs, I always say at weddings, when the chosen breaks a glass, what's he telling? He's telling the bride, you can break anything in the world, I still love you the same. I still love you the same. Because why was Adam and Eve driven out from paradise? Because they put limits to God. So if I eat the wrong apple, I'm thrown out, right? And Adam and Eve, somehow, even between them, you know what the Zohar Kodesh says? Cain and Hevel, the whole thing happened because Adam and Chava were not together 100%. Heartbreaking. Because they were always accusing each other. Chava would say, Adam, if you would have told me stronger, I wouldn't have done it. And he would say, why did you tell me? You know? No. And when you know, Nachman makes it very clear in other places. Do you think Adam and Eve were different people than you and I? It was a married couple, right? Did you see the story of Dovidel in one of the Sichos Haran? He says, what do you think Abraham Avinu woke up in the morning and he didn't wash Negel? I said, he woke up, washed Negel, and he went to the bathroom. Did our Holy Mother so? She woke up, washed her hands, washed her face, washed her teeth. A woman like you and I. He said, what made them so special is not that we're different people, they're the same people. They were much more serious. They were much more serious. See, we don't take our Jewishness and our Menschlichkeit as serious as a woman, much serious. I heard once also the Gereb, the Friedrich Rebbe, the Imre Emes. Someone says to him, you know, in former days we had the Shoinim, the Rashba, the Ram, the Rosh, and what's with us? We don't have such good heads anymore. He says, you're mistaken. Their head was as good as ours. The difference is only they were so much more serious. They took Torah and serious, right? He says, "Vayi Yodef Emuna v'Taguma Parishim B'Tzila." And you see what it is. I walk up to David Zeller and I say, Hadik David, I want you to give me $2 million. Why don't I ask him $2 million? I don't really think he has it, right? Unless you have money in Switzerland, brother. Why am I asking Rothschild? Because I think he has it, right? As simple as it is. So he says, imagine if I'm asking God something and I really don't think God can do it. I'm not really asking him properly. You see what it is? It's really so crazy. The way I want God to change the world, I'm not really asking, because I really don't think he can do it. Let's learn just 2 more lines and we'll change. You see, it's a heavy act to follow the Witzel's learning of Nachman. V'dash, you see what it is. After Rab Nachman established that when you daven, you receive the inside of your neshama. What you really need, obviously every tribe makes something else. Because every tribe, what makes one tribe different from the other, because their neshamas are different neshamas. And they're different neshamas, they're different avodas Hashem. So it cannot be that Levi should daven the same thing like Reuven, and Reuven should daven the same thing like Yisachar. He says, "V'dash yesh shnei mosei shvotim, v'nei shnei mosei mazoros." You see, everybody knows that the stars are supplying unbelievable stuff, right? Which I don't know. The stars are supplying things which should be only beginning a little bit to get to know the stars, right? I don't know if some of you know that Avraham Avinu was mamash the greatest astrologer in the world. Avraham Avinu was mamash. God says, "Vayoytze oiseh achutza." It took him outside. So the Gemara says it took him outside the stars. Because Avraham Avinu, so we cannot really see the stars properly because we see from inside. Avraham Avinu was outside. He looked. Mamish knew the stars. I have to tell you this story and one more Gewalt story, which is mamish good to remember. I hate to say bad things. I know, Brother Joe, I don't know if you remember, the Shabbos after my humble wedding, you were there in my house, you remember? I have to tell you, I made the Shua Brachos very long, never. Suddenly my mother started yelling, "Let my people go."
My wedding, it was, his mother says, "Cut the cake."
Yeah. Everybody has a different way. It must have been a different tribe, right? Anyway, there's a Torah from the Yitha Kodesh. Why is it that Shabbos depends on 3 stars? Like a whole time, besides the moon, the essence of time depends on the stars. 3 stars when Shabbos begins, 3 stars when Shabbos ends, Yom to everything. So he says like about Torah. Imagine you look up to the sky, see so many stars. What's my first reaction? Let's be realistic. You really think God needs all those millions of stars? If a few stars are missing, it would be the same, right? Why am I wrong? Because you'll never know which of all those millions of stars will be the 3 stars will begin Shabbos next week. So he says, you look at all the Eden, and you think, yeah, if this Yid would not exist, it'll also be good, right? There was the Yid in my shul, he had the most bad mouth ever in the world. People would come in and say, "Mamash, I'm going to Israel." Say, but it's say, "Mazda, it's beautiful." He would say, "No laws for America, no gay for Israel." This was his underlying current. Anyway, you see what is? We never know. We don't know. And you see one more thing, why are we a little bit like the stars? Because mamash, every star is doing something for the whole world. And we don't know what every Yid is doing for the world. There is a Torah in Bes Yaakov. It says that it is possible that one Yid gives life to a whole nation in the world. The nation doesn't know about it and the Yid doesn't know about it. But if you would be on top of the stars, you would see this whole nation is from this one Yid. Imagine we'd go up to the highest heaven, we would see that all of the United States lives from the prayers of the Amshnova. Possible, right? And maybe all of China, who knows, right? בכל שבט מאוירה בתפילוסי כוח מזולה שבשתי עשרה מזולס. You know what it is like? You know what our problem is in relation to the world? First of all, inside we don't know how much the world really respects us. Maybe they're angry at us a little bit. Maybe they're jealous. But deep inside, they know we're not special. And also we don't know that we're mamish giving them so much. You know, if I'm feeding a poor man, I'm relating to this poor man and saying, I'm feeding him, I will talk to you later. Remember I told you, when I was in Russia the first time, I met those two girls, teenagers, showed me where the shoe was. I said to me, maybe you think that we Russians are enemies of Israel? They said, maybe the government, but not us, the Russian people. He says, we are so proud of you. We are so proud. It's gotten to my heart so deep. What do we know? But here I want you to know something which is deeper than the deepest depths. Der heilige Rabbi Golitzer. Rabbi Golitzer was one of the children of the Holy Son. You know, Rabbi Golitzer is famous for one story. For a lot of stories, but one. One Friday night, the heilige Sansa, Mamish, suddenly, you could see Mamish is leaving the world. He was Mamish sitting there, and he was Mamish so much bedveked that he looked like he's Mamish time. So the heilige Golitzer begins knocking like this, to wake him up. Didn't happen. So the heilige Golitzer, Mamish, talks to him to hold his father, and he thought he could maybe die from exhaustion because it's complete. So Mamish opened his mouth and poured some tea into him. So Mamish began coughing, So he got away from his dveikus. So he says to him, to begin coughing, if you're pouring tea in my mouth and I'm not really drinking it, it's, yeah. So the son says to Golitzer, in Olam Atzilus you don't drink tea. You know? He says in Olam Atzilus you don't cough either. Anyway, the Golitzer was like, he was Mamish, the biggest shamus of his father. His Mamish always taking care of him. And you know, the Heilige Shinver, one of his main avoiders was to drive out the Dibukim. He was Mamish driving out the Dibukim. You know, Dibuk is when somebody else is so attached to stuff to you. And also what the Shinver says, at the end, when he was at the end, he says, from now on there won't be any Dibukim. Because they're not tzaddikim, we can drive them out. He says, the Moshe was always maktim refuah l'maktim. And if there won't be enough tzaddikim to drive them out, so they won't come. Anyway, so you know how he called his brother, the Shinver? Called him the Dibik. And you know something? The last 13 years of the Shinver, the Heilige Golitzer didn't speak to him. People would say, why didn't you talk to your brother? Why says you want me to talk to a Dibik? Okay, and by the sons of Yosef, there were thousands of people and all the children. He would, mamish, not talk to the children.